Welcome to the Nurture Pod. This is that space, that threshold between all that is and all that is possible, where we try to discuss that. And we're at the threshold between 2025 and 2026. My name is Iris Sullivan Daire, and I'm here with the truly wonderful Ginger Edwards, and we're not actually here together. We're here together in spirit, but actually thousands and thousands of miles away from each other.
That's right.
How are you, my island queen?
Yeah, I'm on an island, which is always a good thing. I am on the Caribbean Sea and off the coast of Belize, and I've been island hopping for the last week, so very lovely experience. Got to stay on a tiny little island. I mean, like a 5-minute walk around the island, tiny, which is very magical because you're just on this little dot in the middle of the ocean, called Tobacco Key. And that was awesome. That was over Christmas. I was there for 6 days on this
Oh,
dinky
wow.
little baby island. So no podcasting because there was barely any internet or anything. But you could just snorkel off the side of the island, and there was all cool stuff. And like, the coolest thing I did there was night snorkeling with lights, and there was octopus in the ocean, and they were hunting, and we could follow them with our just glide above them, and they were like, no problem, we're just going to keep going. And I have never ever seen something so magical. I mean, things that happen in the ocean, like if they happened on land, we'd be like freaking out like we were in a sci-fi movie, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And to
yeah.
watch an octopus, it changes shape completely. Like it goes from, I mean, it can morph into anything. It changes color like dramatically. It poofs up like when it eats a fish or something, it drops on top of it, and the whole thing expands like 3 times its size, and it changes color. And it's like the whole time you're watching this, you're in this warm, like clear water, but it's at night, and so you can only see what the light is. I mean, the whole thing is so dreamy and otherworldly, and yet most of the planet where you live on is ocean. I mean, it's just like when you're in the ocean, though, and in a way where, I mean, this particular ocean is such a fish tank because it's so warm and so clear. You really get this, like, you get it. It's like you're in dark, cold water. You're like, you can see everything, and you can see all the movement, and oh my
And
God, it's
and
just been healing me on so many. I don't even know how to explain, but I'm in this water chakra journey, and this particular ocean is so
have you had you
cool.
ever had you ever been in the Gulf of Mexico before?
I have actually been to Belize before. I've been here.
Oh,
It was a long time ago, maybe over a decade ago. And I had a memory of it, of this memory of like how how clear the water was, and how the coral was pretty good shape. It was in much better shape when I was here before. I mean,
oh,
there is grief around
wow.
the reef. There's grief for the reef right now because I can see the change. I mean, I definitely can see the damage that's being done, and I know that the oceans everywhere are, imperiled, and you
Yes.
get that. So it is a layering, you know what I mean? Like there's this total wonderment, and yet there's also grief because, yeah, I mean, the ocean's full of plastic. I mean, it's everywhere, and the reefs are damaged, and I mean, and if you get a guided tour, they're all like, yeah, they'll confirm that, like, this is a problem, we have problems, but there you are floating around in it, and as a tourist, so it's hard to, you just have to, you just have to take what you can, I guess, and enjoy the moment you're in. And still, like I said, amazing, like just mind-boggling cool, like a puffer fish at night
Oh,
that swims up, and then the guy like pokes it a little bit, and it expands this huge ball. This puffer fish is like, they swallow seawater, it's like huge, and all spiky to defend attackers, and then it just, like, once it realizes it's not in danger, it just lets it all go and goes back to this teeny tiny little fish
oh, what? That's
with
what
these
we need. Just
big
let it all
eyeballs
go.
that they're just looking at you. Yeah. And then the
I
other weird thing, I just want my last weird, like, tripped out thing about the ocean. I'll probably keep talking about it because it's been very oceany over here for me. Is that fish sleep, and I didn't realize that fish slept. I've never been in the ocean at night, so I've never. They're just like they're laying on the bottom of the ocean floor, just like passed out. And I'm like, it was the most surreal,
Oh,
weird.
wow,
They're
yeah.
just big fish just laying there, and I'm like, what's? He's like, they're sleeping. And I'm like, oh my God! Like, it never occurred to me that fish just flopped over and slept on the bottom of the ocean. Like, I just I always see them moving, right?
Yeah,
And
no,
it
I
was like such a worldview shift. I was like, oh, this is like an essential, like this changes the way I think about the world and the ocean fundamentally.
oh man, I like
Because they're so
yeah.
vulnerable. They're just laying there. You can touch
Yeah.
them, pick them up, and I guess we're really vulnerable when we sleep too. I mean, it's just part of it. But anyway, that's
Wow.
my. I'm just bubbled over with the ocean's mysteries right now.
I so years when I like literally weeks after Joe and I got married, we went on a sailing trip
Mm,
with his sister and her husband in the Caribbean in the British Virgin Islands, and that's my one and only experience with snorkeling,
mm-hmm.
and like to like I swear to God, like if somebody had come down and said, "Would you like to be a mermaid and just live here in the water for the rest of your
Yeah,
forever?" And I would have
that's
been like,
right.
"Yes."
Yes. Yes.
Unreserved. Yes. I'm ready to
Right?
be a mermaid right
It's
now.
so
And like
good.
I
It's
still
so
think about
good.
that. It's like and I have that like it's like, that ability to like like we would just get up in the morning and just go swimming. And
Yeah.
we would stop and anchor and go swimming. Like we would just
Mm.
be in and out of the water like constantly for the 10 days of the sailing trip. It was just like I was just 100% ready to be a mermaid. And I'm not like a
Yeah.
particularly strong swimmer, like I know how to swim, but like
No, but there's something about that water, right?
and it's
It's
just
just,
like
it's very salty.
holds you and
Yeah,
it's
you can
just
just float and you just lay there in the water. I mean, it's the closest thing to flying that we get, is to glide through water like
yeah.
that and to
And
be
it's just
above.
having the fins and then you can like your whole face you can
Yeah.
see and like
And
yeah, it
also
was
sailing, since you brought up sailing, I went on a sailboat yesterday and I paid for like the tour. And because I had been, I get up really early in the morning. I like to, because these places are kind of busy sometimes. So I like get up early before anybody else gets up and I go out and sit on the dock and watch the sunrise and do yoga. And there's all these docks, going into the ocean. And I was and I kept watching these sailboats, like, like take off in the mornings. And I'm like, oh, it looks so good. So I splurge. I'm like, I'm just going to buy myself a sailboat snorkel trip. And oh man, like I was on this big, beautiful. I mean, I've been on little sailboats before. And actually, I did a crazy sail trip myself and with a former boyfriend. He will not be named, in the Gulf of Mexico, and we almost died like a million times. But that was more like a hand-built sailboat that he had made. It was like an
uh,
open rowboat with a sail. It was very small. This was like a legit, like
had a
beautiful
cabin
sailboat.
and all this.
Yeah, I mean it was amazing. And they let us just sit on the top, So I was just sitting on top, and the day was absolutely perfect. And the sails went up, and like there was just something about the sound of the sails and the movement of the boat and the wind and the smell and just like it just like was awakening some past life or so. It was just lit me up with this joy, and I was just, yeah, I was just transported to a different place. I'm on this beautiful ocean just moving, wind
Also
and
like
water.
flying.
Yeah, it's also like flying, very free, like very free. You're just like, oh my god. But every component of it was so pleasurable for me. It was just like in the best. And then again, we'd stop and we'd get off, and of course there'd be these gorgeous corals or sharks or all kinds of cool things to see. And sea turtles. There were so many turtles, which is oh so amazing. Little baby turtles. And
Oh.
oh god, they're so,
Oh.
oh my god, little baby sea turtles, amazing. And so yeah, I've just been having this super pleasurable Caribbean side, this time, and then I got to this island and I don't like it. It's really funny. So I'm having this really different experience today.
Oh, interesting. And
And
you're not there very long. You're just here like two
I'm only there for
nights.
a couple days, and it's like it's hard. They have to like really work hard to make a beautiful tropical island ugly. I mean, like, but they've succeeded in making this part of it that I'm sitting in anyway. San Pedro is just, it's like they just took so much concrete and poured it over the entire thing. I'm like, what are you doing? Like this place has got to be like, it's paradise. I mean, it's like a gorgeous island, white sand. I mean, it's got everything. The ocean's spectacular, but they've cut down every tree, and I mean, it's all Americans here. This is like Florida transplanted
Oh.
onto, because obviously there's a lot of like American tourists and retirees here, and they wanted it to look just like Florida, I guess, because they
Oh.
succeeded in, and it's just it's kind of heartbreaking because I just came from the island south of there that they haven't done that with, and it was
Maybe
very beautiful.
protected.
Yeah, it's not protected, but it had its local flavor. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
felt like you were in Belize, and I got here and I'm like, I feel like I'm in some crappy part of, you know, I mean, like, and you can walk out on these piers and you get it, you're back in the magic, you know, but as soon as you come back to the center, and I had a lot of like grief come up about it, and I'm like, ugh. And then I have to just kind of go inside and be like, you know, I start picking up trash. I mean, that's how bad
Yeah.
it is. Like you start like, I can't walk by this. Like this is people leaving like to go containers on the edges of piers. You know, you're like, this is like literally 6 inches from the Caribbean Sea. Like you don't have to like make this up in your head. Like this will fall in the ocean. This plastic bag and this styrofoam tray is going to be in the ocean in like 5 minutes. You know, like, and you just walked away from it. Like you just left it there, and it just makes you so disappointed in humanity. You're like, what are we doing to this paradise, this gorgeous paradise? And people come. This is fun for them. Like they come and they just destroy it. You know, and of course I'm here, so it's like I'm also, you know, intertwined with this whole mess of, so I guess I am in my reflection mode at the end of the year, reflecting on the whole, like the amazing parts of travel and then the ugly parts of travel, and like being in the middle of it, you know, trying to weave
Yeah.
your way through as you move. Because when we were snorkeling off this sailboat, cost just awesome experience. And the guide I had was a snorkel guide, so he would like point at things, clap his hands, and then we'd all pop our little heads up, and he'd be like, "That's this and this a fish, you know, and this is what they do." And so it was a complete like educational tour of all the
Oh,
fish and the
wonderful.
coral and the seaweed, and he was explaining everything. And all I can think of was like, this should be a school child, like this should be a class. Like I'm
Yes.
getting this weird
Yes.
trip, but what an amazing way to learn about the ocean is like to be in, you know, with a guy from Belize who's just like obviously loves his country and is sharing this with you with all this like joy in his heart because his job is to do this for a
Yes.
living. And it was like, oh, there should be like a whole classroom with me, you know, doing this tour because this is the most fabulous way to learn about the ocean when you're in it. Like you're just experiencing
Yes.
it and you
Yes.
care about it. Like, how could you not care when you're face to face with a nurse shark? You know, like, oh my God, I want to know everything about nurse sharks. I mean, they're amazing. Here they are. And he's like, they're blind, they can't see you. And one almost like ran right into me because there's
Wow.
so many of them in this one area. They call it Shark Alley, and I mean, it's protected. This is like a reserve, and so there's lots and lots of life. But oh my God, I was like, I kept like backing, like, you know, paddling up, and it was coming right at me. And he's like, yeah, they don't see you, so just kind of steer clear of them because. But it was amazing. It got so close to me. It was amazing. So
And
I
also
just,
just watching like watching all these different species
uh,
all just in a swirling
yeah,
flow with each other and with the everything, like
yeah.
it's
And some
truly.
fish are truly curious. Like they'll come and they'll follow you. They're just like, what's going on? Like, who are you guys? You know? And other fish change color. Like he's like, watch this one. And we're watching this like hogshead fish or something. And it's just changing. Like it's like you said, like you think you're on drugs. If this was happening on land, you'd be like, whoa, this can't happen. But just changing color, different patterns, you know? I mean, just amazing stuff. The ocean is so incredible. So I think
And
it's a fitting like part of my water chakra journey that I'm just in the water now for days and days, just kind of absorbing
yes,
this whole like the
yes.
feel of water, the smell of it, being on a sailboat, being under the water at night. I mean, the whole thing,
Oh yeah,
and
the at
very
night thing is
pleasurable.
amazing.
Yeah, I highly recommend anybody can go in at night because wow, we saw a lot of cool stuff. But mostly, okay, I'm gonna tell you a weird story. Should I tell you a weird story right now?
Yeah.
Um, this is related to my water chakra, which obviously I am in process with at this moment. But when I used to do somatic like excursions into my body, visualizing the different chakras, um, I often went into my second chakra, which is the one I'm working on. This is part of my travel. And I would receive a very strong image of a cave. And I might have even said this on the podcast before or told you as in person. It was a cave, and it was like a dark cave with water in it. And there was like a little version of me, kind of like a golem, you know, like very pale, kind of, you know, in this cave. And I was like, that's not great. Like, that's not the image I want to get from my second child. But it was consistently the image. And I kind of understood the cave to be about shame a little bit. Like, you know, there's a lot
Uh,
of like hiding. There's like a hiding
yeah.
energy, like it's not safe to be seen. and protected. Like, it was
Yeah.
definitely a safe place, but it was kind of like, eh. Um, and so when I was in Belize and I was doing cave stuff, there was this, not the cave that was the big crazy one with the skeletons that I talked about last time,
That was
but
in
there,
Guatemala or was that in
no,
Belize?
that was also in Belize, but this was a
Okay.
different excursion anyway, bigger cave. And it's a very large cave, and we were kind of hiking on the side of it, but there was water down below, and I wasn't thinking about my somatic stuff at all. And I just like walked, I kind of scrambled down to get to the water. And at one point I kind of crouched down by the water to just put my hand in and see what the temperature was. And I had
Full
like
body.
full body, this is me, I'm in a cave crouched by the water. Like, it was a full body somatic experience of like, I am doing the thing that I've envisioned. I was like, here I am. Oh my God.
And
And it was
and it was a
so
completely different energy than you were giving it
yes.
before.
Yes. And there I was, and I was like, okay, I'm in the cave. Whoa, let's look around at the cave, because I'm actually here. I mean, this isn't just a visual. I'm doing it in physical form, and I realized the cave had much more light than I had. Had big openings. The water was running, and it had all these like little offshoot caves that you could see on the sides. Like, so there was openings, but also that I could get up and I could leave the cave. Like, I
Yes, yes.
physically like took that somatic experience, and I'm like, and we can go now. And I climbed back up, and I was kind of embodying this as I did it, and I left the cave, and I was
Bringing
like,
with yourself.
yes, with myself. Like, it was almost like when you have a lucid dream, and in the dream you could take action with like your conscious mind, like, oh, I don't want to be chased anymore, I'm going to turn around and do this instead. This was me in real life having this weird like body double like thing with my somatic self, and I was like, we're going to get out of it.
Wow.
I think it's time to leave the cave. And we did. And I have been and then I went into this gorgeous blue water, and now when I check into my second chakra, it's like the Caribbean Sea down there. It's like this lit up, warm, fishy filled, like beautiful, like sun sparkling through the water energy. And so I think it actually took me going into a physical cave to remove myself, or remove that. Isn't that interesting?
That is super interesting. I love it so much. Like
Yeah, I
I
think I
love it
just
so much.
discovered like a new like healing tool or something. Because if you have the visual and then you can go do it, like, you can actually like shift that energy in real time. And yeah, and now I keep feeling into it, and I'm like, I just want to feel like the Caribbean. I mean, I really do. Like, this is exactly what
Well,
the
and also that
the
you
flow I
you
want.
that talking about somatic, like I think we've talked about this before, but like being like have I've had a lot of energy healing,
Hmm.
and like I had energy sessions at least once a week for an entire year during
Hmm.
my big health adventure. And the thing that I took away from that is like when you have somebody who's like prepares themselves for a session, is totally attuned, and is like, basically bringing through all this energy and like running it through your body. Like it changes. It's like it attunes you to be able to do that for yourself. Like,
Mm.
like if I remember, that's a thing. It's like you kind of forget that you can do shit. But like
Yeah.
like if I can remember, then it's like I can lay there and I can be like, okay, I can totally tune in to
Hmm.
that experience of feeling like the energetic flow through my whole body. And like it's like, oh yeah, like it's so it's like I do feel like even if it's you were like in this and you realize, oh my gosh, this self, the person you are right now, was
Hmm.
reaching back and said
Hmm.
to yourself from before, oh, come forward with me, let's go.
Hmm.
And so then it's like whoosh, like that. I just feel like we how it just we keep going back to energetics, but it's like the shift, like when it's just intellectual, I don't think it
Hmm.
really changes it. But it's like when you feel it in your body,
Yeah.
then you're in a whole new place, right? Like,
Yeah, and it's instantaneous. Like, it's not any, it isn't intellectual at all. I wasn't thinking about anything. I just was
no.
I just did it like physically, and all of a sudden it just struck me like my body understood as I crouched in that cave
That
what to
that was
do.
it. Yes.
This is the I don't know. And again, I'm also on this journey where I'm visiting different places, right? As these powerful places. So it could have been the cave itself that was the invitation, like come do this work, but none of it was from the head. Like it was
Right.
completely yeah, it was just completely time, place, moment. It was
Uh,
time, it was time to make the shift. And but it's just crazy how it did shift. And I feel different. Like I really do feel different. Like something has shifted. And I think it's okay to not understand it exactly,
yes, yes, yes,
like just
yes.
just be really grateful and let it go, like let it happen. I actually think a lot of this journey for me, and I'm just reflecting now over the year that I crazy year that we've all been in. But for me especially, uh it's been a lot about getting out of my head and just trusting that my body and the planet knows what to do. Like it's the compass is the planet. I'm just kind of here. When I was in my Shasta, I dedicate. I mean, I stood on the mountain and was like, I offer my, services to the universe and the power of love. Like, please be, use me as your, and and then it was like nothing really came through. It was like no voice from on high shook, no burning bush showed up. Like it was just like okay. But I did feel like I felt the recognition of that moment. But it's what I realized is it's been coming, and it's just like these moments, it's like,
Yes, yes.
and they're not planned, and I can't script them. And a lot of it has to do with just being in a place, and all of a sudden I'll just be like, "Whoa, oh, I think that was a shift. I think this is what's going on, and I feel like this is opening here, and I feel like things are being, cleared out, or I don't actually understand it, and that's okay. It's probably better that I don't understand it.
Well,
But I can't get in the way of it.
Joe and I are talking about this morning about this, this acknowledgement of the unseen world, but also the natural world is often part of the unseen world, is often more part of the unseen world than of our world, right? Because we
Yes.
walk right past amazing nature. Like I just had a flash of you and I walking through the Eagle Gate on your way to send you to the
That's
condors.
right. That's right.
But we're just talking about like the awareness. It's like when you're in that aware state, suddenly
Mm.
it's not that something comes to you, it's that that was there all along.
Yes.
And so that's why it can, I think that's why it's, like the monks that are walking to Washington D.C. right now, they're
Yeah.
for peace, and what they're saying is like it's not something you have to hope for. It's already here. Peace is
Yep.
already here. It's we're it's within you. It's
Yes.
here. It's already here. It's not something you have to reach for, right?
Right.
And our heads, I think, have a really hard time with that. But
Mm.
I think that really, that if you can have that, I think somatics is just so key. It's so key
Yeah.
because it's like then you have that vibration that feels familiar, and then you can move forward with it, like because your body's like, yes, truth, and then you can move forward with it, versus when it's just in my head, when something's just in my head. And I think this is true of other people too. I can argue myself out of that. I made that up.
Yeah.
That was just a story. That's like, oh my gosh, who the heck do I think I am? That's like, I had blah, blah. But there are
Right.
experiences that affect you in a fully somatic way, like when the giant whale was in the Columbia River, when
Mm.
the big humpback whale was like breaching and eating all the little sardines,
Mm.
and like that energetic signature of that giant whale that was like 50 feet from us or something, like
Amazing.
is like a life-changing event, right? And it's like
Hmm.
you know what I mean, like it's
Yep,
like
I do.
it is just so yeah.
I mean, sailing was that too. It was somatic. I wasn't thinking about anything. It was just the combination of something, and it was just releasing like waves of joy in me. I'm so
So
happy.
great. Oh my
I
god,
was
I love
so
it, love it,
happy,
love
and I
it.
just couldn't stop the feeling of just utter delight. I was like, this. this is awesome. Like there's nothing I'd rather be doing right now than this. Like this is just epic. I'm
Uh,
so proud of myself for getting myself on this boat in Belize. Like, there's so glad I'm doing this. And then other times where I'm like, I don't want to be doing this. Like, what if I do? It's just like this back and forth. But man, when you hit it, yeah, there's no question. It's not a story. It's just an experience of joy.
yes, yes.
Yeah. And wonderment.
Oh, that's so
And I
good.
think that as I try to navigate this winding path, that is my compass, is really those experiences, those feelings. It's less and less about thinking, like, what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? It's really, I'm really starting to understand. It's like dropping into the moment, relaxing, like letting the mind be quiet. And then there's this kind of it's very quiet, it's gentle, but it's very present if you allow space for it to be information. And yeah, it's like a trust. It's like, oh, I feel like I should go there. I have no idea why I signed up for that tour for the weird cave. Like the first one I did was just a cave and like some waterfalls, and I was kind of like, I don't know, it doesn't seem that exciting, but I did it. I think I did the tour just to do that, have that moment. So I was
Yes,
like, oh,
yes.
I had no idea. And of course, everybody else on this tour is having a completely different experience for me, but whoa, it was very powerful for me, and I came out of that being like, oh my gosh, that was something. So I don't know.
I think it's that I've been just thinking about one of my friends a lot who I haven't seen. I just had a little holiday exchange with them, and
Nice.
she's a Buddhist, and she has been for decades and decades, and I remember having this great conversation with her. We were walking down the street in Astoria together. She used to live here, and that we like we were going to cross commercial, and so they were at the stop, the crosswalk. We're waiting for the crosswalk, but like the cars that were going by, it was the juxtaposition between the different cars that were lined up. Like there was a big jack up truck completely covered in mud, like they do that thing called mudding where they go destroy
Yeah.
wetlands and drive around with their big jacked up trucks. And then there's like, like late model Jaguar of somebody coming to the coast, and then like
Mm-hmm.
like all these, and then somebody in a clunker with like 3 kids in the back seat, and like they were all just kind of like all like we got there just as the light was, we were too late to cross, so we had to wait a whole cycle. So like they were all stopped, and then for just a click, and then they were taking off, and so we're like getting to really kind of check out all these cars, and I'm like, oh my god, like I'm like, what? It's like, like the physicists talk about there's all these universes. And she's like, oh, the Buddhists talk
Yes.
about that there's all these universes. And there it is right there.
Oh my
There's a
gosh,
universe, and
yes.
there's a universe, and there's a universe. And there's a universe. She's like pointing at me and pointing at herself and like pointing at all the people. Those are everyone's in their own universe. And
Yeah.
it was like the visual of, so anyway, so I think about like this idea of, you're having this experience, and like what universe were they experiencing that in?
Yeah. Who
Like
knows?
totally, like some of them might have been, oh, this is boring, and somebody
Right.
else might have been like, oh my god, I've never been in a cave before, this is amazing. And
Yeah.
somebody
Yeah.
else might have been like, I'm really feeling afraid, why did I didn't know, but I'm terrified of being in caves.
Right.
And like
Right.
all the different universes are all happening and all possible all the time.
Very much so. I think. I think yes, I agree with that. And also, if you are tuning into the natural world, if you're what I mean, if you're there with it, right? Which I think I have been inviting it, like I want to talk to you, kind of,
Yeah.
I do think you deepen the experience, because it's reaching out, like the unseen world, or I like
Is
Philip,
so happy
Philip
to.
Pullman calls it, was like the secret commonwealth, I think is what he calls it, the same idea.
Oh, I
It's
love that.
Yeah, isn't that great? That's Philip Pullman. I'm reading his book, The Book of Dust. It's so good. There's so many amazing nurture culture like layers in his books, but yeah, the secret commonwealth, which I think in my brain I started to I attached it. Like, it's a good way to think about all of this energy that I don't have any language for, the rocks and the energy of the cave and the energy of the water and the energy of
Yes.
the place and the energy of the people that used to be in this place and the prayers that were said here and it just keeps, it's layer upon layer upon layer of the secret commonwealth. There's all these energies, and then you walk into it and you're now in the middle of this commonwealth, but you are also there. You have your own
Yes.
energetic signature. One of the really interesting things that happened to me over the holidays is that I was on this little tiny island. Um, it's like they serve you all your meals because it's too small to have a restaurant, right? So it's just, there's no extra stuff. Like, you stay at their little place, and it's really family home, like, homegrown kind of energy. Like, it's not a big fancy resort at all. That's why I liked it. It was very, it was like a parents and their kids running it, and so they have these little chairs. It's like you're at camp. Like, they have these little, like, seating areas. And for some reason, I got on the boat with this old guy. He must have been like close to 80. And he's been coming to the same island for Christmas for 2 weeks for like the last 20 years. So, like,
Wow.
this guy's like a celebrity to them. They're like, oh, it's Tom. We love Tom, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going to use his name because I'm sure he doesn't listen to this podcast. Um, so he was solo and I was solo. So they put us together for every single meal. Like, I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner with Tom for 6 days on this island.
Wow.
And Tom was a super Trumpy Republican. And so I am
Oh,
like,
super interesting.
oh, it's so interesting, right? So I'm like, how interesting that I get to be the one he's paired up with. And how am I going to experience this gentleman? Because on one hand, right, he loves this place. He comes here, everybody knows him. He's obviously been very generous with the people. They all love him. They're like, oh, Tom. And on the other hand, he's like crazy saying things that, I mean, racist, like inflammatory things about women, like all of it. It's all in the mix. And so and he's old. He's very old. So I had to just be like, like, let's be in my most watery self here. Let's not don't hold on to anything, like, let it roll right over you. Know that you're not going to change this person. I mean, he's not here to be educated, or, I mean, I don't have to change him. He's just
Oh,
Tom.
perfect timing for the burden episode.
Right, exactly. It was actually really good because that was in my mind. Like, I don't have to take any of this on. This isn't my job. He's not my family. I mean, it's Christmas, and here is the uncle that everyone's afraid of getting sat next to, and I'm like, bam, every
18
day.
meals.
Yeah, a lot of meals, and he likes to talk. So, and I was just kind of like, I gave myself the task of being like, I'm going to be really kind to Tom. I'm going to be really kind and loving. He's an old guy. He's an elder. And I'm not here to teach him shit. I just am not. I also don't, I mean, if he starts saying weird stuff, I just change this. I mean, I easily divert. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
skilled enough to change the subject, right? But I just wanted to relate to him on a human level. But man, it was also this very interesting work of, like, the culture. And I mean, when I left, he, like, gave me a big hug. He was taking pictures of me. He stood on the dock until my boat was, like, out of, I mean, he was waving. Like, I think it meant a lot to him that I actually sat with him and talked to him at every meal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Even
yeah.
though I didn't agree with, I didn't, like, fall into any, like, there was no, like, deep conversation. It was all I kept it very light. We talked about snorkeling a lot and sailing because he used to sail, like, professionally, and he's been all over the world on a sailboat. And that part I was interested in. So I kept bringing him back to those, stories. That's the ones I wanted.
The common ground.
Yeah, the common ground. And it was just, I guess I don't have anything really profound to say about it other than I was able to stay curious, kind, unattached, and everybody in that place that was running it wanted him to be there, were, like, happy he was there, and kept winking at me, like, thanks for, you know what I mean, kind of giving me the little, like, hey, like, you're being cool because we're seating you with him, and, like, we know
they knew. Yes,
he likes to talk to people, right? So, like,
I wonder how many. I wonder how many.
Oh, so good.
Oh, I wonder how many, like, other years of other people had to be moved, asked to be moved.
Maybe, right? Like, I don't even know. Who knows? I have a feeling maybe one of the staff would have sat and talked to him if I wasn't there. That's the feeling I got.
Yeah.
But it was kind of fascinating because I also learned a lot about him, and he like was estranged from his whole family. He like lives alone on this property in West Virginia, like, and he's like, I just hate I'm an equal opportunity hater. I hate everybody,
Wow.
and in kind of a joking way, he
Yeah.
told a lot of dad jokes, stupid jokes, and I was like, well, Tom, what the other option is, and he was like, what? I'm like, you could love everybody. And then he's like, that's too much work, ha ha ha. But it was there was pain and grief like mixed into some of
Yes,
these
yes,
stories.
yes.
Because at the end he started telling me stories about his like people he broke up with and like his heart being broken. Like he was getting deeper, you know what I mean? He was still kind of
Yes.
griping, but it was less about like just superficial stuff and more about his personal like. So I guess maybe because I'm a coach, I just let him talk. I asked, like questions that I was interested in hearing the response to. So maybe I was doing some inadvertent coaching there, but it was a really interesting week. And the most fascinating part to me was that he's like, "Oh, I got rid of you." And then he stood on that dock and waved until I was like out of sight. And I'm like, "Oh, it kind of touched me." I was like, "That's actually
Yes.
really sweet." I mean, I am traveling alone. I'm like, "Wow, Tom cares that I'm leaving." And at the very end, a couple other people joined the table because there was like more people coming in because it was like
Yeah.
Christmas, and that changed the dynamics. Then I could talk to them, and it was just easier. It was like easier,
Yeah.
like a 4-person flow. But when it was just like me and him, it was kind of like it was weirdly intense, and also I was fine with it. I was surprisingly like not triggered. And anybody, I mean, I have been in situations like that in the past where I would have been like, no, like,
Yeah,
what did
yeah,
you just
yeah.
say? Like, and so I don't know if that has something to do with my cave situation and my Caribbean water. It's something shifted in me that I was able to just flow with it and be very loving and kind and just see him as a human being with different thoughts of my own. Don't have to agree with them. That's okay. Like I really, it was kind of fascinating. So that happened too on these weird little island that I was on.
Man, it's like I feel like you're experiencing it's this interesting thing because I feel like time is moving fast for me, but I feel like time for you, like each time I talk to you, you've had
Oh yeah.
this huge expansive, you're I'm imagining that time must feel like kind of elastic, right? Like you're in this
Yeah.
timelessness, but also like it's not it's switching around, like it's
Yeah.
that way that I gotta check in something. I think there might be a cat situation. Isn't is anybody here?
Oh, a
I'm
cat
gonna I'm
situation. Go
gonna
ahead.
send.
I'll
I'm just
ramble
gonna
for a minute.
I'm just gonna actually what I'll do is I'll just text the other people in the house and have them attend.
Okay.
I think
There was a cat.
she's walking around. I can hear her next to the sink walking
Is this
around on the
the?
stack of dishes.
Oh, that is a cat situation. That could be a bigger situation very soon.
So
Hmm.
I might just run away. Right back.
Yeah. Okay. I can talk. I like to talk. So, podcast listeners, it's just me now. Let's see. What else do I want to say about this weird water journey I've been on? All I can say is that as it's coming to a close, because at the end of January, we have Neptune going into Aries. So soon I'm going to be like kind of arcing out of my water journey. And
Next
the
year's
grand
fire.
finale will be to fly to Hawaii at the beginning of February on Imbolc, where I'm going to do a week with whales. And there's actually going to be a woman from New Zealand coming who works like traditionally with whales in their cultural, and she's going to have an outrigger, uh, like outrigger canoe
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
style that we can go out in the ocean on and like listen to whales. So the whole thing that the whales are going to be like the end of the journey, which I'm really excited about because now that I'm in the water more and just in the ocean specifically, like feeling that vibration. I think the whales are like the Christian. I mean, the octopus was enough. I mean, that when that octopus looked
Mind
me in
blowing.
the eye, they look at you, and you could feel the intelligence. And I was trying to telepathically communicate with it that I was so grateful to be there. Like I was so grateful for its presence, so grateful for it to be on the same planet with it, and I could kind of feel like cool, you know, like it was a now it looked right at me, like, and I was like, and then it just kind of kept going, like hunting, you know, let us follow it for a long time. And he said, you know, when it's done letting us follow it, he'll just like stop or hide or something. But we went for a long time just doing his thing, and at the end he kind of turned around and kind of faced us all, and we could tell like he was like, okay, you guys can
Head off now.
done, like this was enough. But oh, I don't, anyway. So whales, I think, are gonna blow my mind.
There's
They're gonna blow my mind.
I think they're how could they not? I mean, like they have such a huge heart. Like they're
The vibrational energy of whale song in the water. I mean, yeah. So I'm just gonna ride this literal wave, like arc, this wave of arc, from the Caribbean over to the Hawaiian Islands. And I recently read that Maui is also considered the heart chakra of the planet. And different systems, it's a big one. It's definitely an energy point and a big powerful place for the heart. So it just feels very beautiful to end there with this section of my journey. But I do feel like something's shifted, and I know I've peripherally talked about my chakra journey as I've kind of woven it through this podcast, but it's always in the background of what, because sometimes I just don't understand what's going on. Like I just have nothing to say about it because it's just, I don't know, you know. I mean, I think I'm in process, right? But that recent clearing that happened, and the way I feel too, I feel different. And all I can say is that it's very subtle and very non-linear and non-mental, you know. So it's hard, again, like water would be, right? It's hard for me to find the words to wrap around it because it's just like a feel, like almost like a texture. I feel different. I feel calmer,
well,
calmer.
and I've been
So something happened.
So some years ago, my friend Kestrel and I went down to this midwifery conference. She does stuff with, you know, with postpartum stuff. Like she does women's health stuff. So we were attending the midwifery conference, and I just went with her, and it was totally hilarious because it was like midwives from all over, and then like, you know, they're going around the circle. It's like, what, you know, blah blah, is this where I am a, you know, da da, and they get to me and I'm like, I am a groupie. Like I have no reason to be here. I'm here with my friends and I love babies. I had my babies at home. You guys all rock. Like that's why I'm here. So it was really funny because like the whole like 4 days or whatever, they're like, we even have a groupie this year. So like, but one of the things from that amazing experience of getting to hang out with all those awesome midwives was this man, he was an OB from Venezuela, who then, after delivering babies for a long time, decided that the better way to do it was to be as a midwife. And so he became a midwife and started and changed how he delivered babies. And he's like, he's like, it just hurts my heart to think of all those babies who I slapped on the bottom to get them to breathe. You know, like, and he did this presentation talking about the vagus nerve and how when we're developing as a tiny little fetus, he said that, and, you know, of course, he had beautiful English, but you know how when people have more than one language, they often speak in these really beautiful turns of phrase, you know. And I'm not going to come up with it, I don't think, but he talked about that the vagus nerve is fully, it's like basically starts to do its job long before the brain that it will communicate to is doing its thing. Right. So like there is no brain really, but the vagus nerve is responsive to all of the things. And because babies, like while we're developing, we're getting washed with all those neuropeptides. So we're experiencing, because we're sharing blood with the mother, we're experiencing all of her emotions. And so when you're seized up, your vagus nerve, the freeze response, right? Like it's like shields up, right? Like you can't take in sensory information. You can't, you're, and so like the more stressed a woman is while she's pregnant, the more shielded that developing nervous system is from
Mm,
from experiencing all, so it's like, if just think
yeah.
about it, it's like you were saying, I was fully alive and blissed out.
Yeah.
That is a very different, just fully expansive state of being.
Yeah.
And to have that sort of experience as your nervous system is being, versus I'm really afraid, or
Yeah.
I'm experiencing violence, or I'm
Yeah.
experiencing, whatever lack of safety. What is
Right.
that? So the reason I bring this all up is like, so while you were having your Christmas experience, my Christmas experience has been that, like, these are my fully 2 weeks off. And, like, because I have 3 jobs, like, I had a period of about a few weeks that I was off from my biggest job, but still had my other little jobs. And then I had the art show to prepare for and all the stuff. And then I was sick and all those things. But so last week and this week, I'm fully unplugged. And I had that transition. Being sick is a really good transition to knock you out of, there's nothing like lounging around in bed for a week to like really shift you into a different gear. Like you have
Yep.
to get into like rest and repair parasympathetic nervous system. The reason I bring this all full circle is that when we are going about our world, as I see, like 2025 was so much of this, where I was over busy and like really in my head, busy, 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 busy brain. Like how not, there's just like you're putting in the blinders on. It's like the horses with the blinkers, like
Mm,
it's like the world becomes, the sample space is small, and the more your vagus nerve is activated, just think about that. It's like you're not taking in. And so it's like when you arrived at the beginning of your trip so long ago now, right? But
yeah.
like you had just experienced
Yeah.
absolutely huge
Oh my gosh.
change,
I know.
such a
The
huge
first
change.
the first 6 months of 2025 were so intense. Like packing, selling, leaving. I mean, it was just like this crazy run from like January to like, yeah, pretty much July, right? That first chunk. And then I went into this like, July was transition, and then August I left. And so from
You were
August to
still
now,
in that,
oh yeah,
activated. And so like,
I had just ripped apart every. I mean, I was just like the biggest, craziest, and I went right into Peru and kept. I was moving fast. I was like, because I was activated. I was like, I don't know what to do, what I'm doing. So doing a lot felt good because it was, at least it was like enough movement and activity to keep me distracted. And then gently, as my nervous system started to calm down, I slowed down, and I wanted to slow down, and I wanted to like feel into like, wait, like what is actually going on? What are the layers here? And now I'm almost in this now I'm like towards the end of this chunk of the journey, which at the end of January will be 6 months, which is crazy. It's like half a year I've been
wow.
traveling. um then I knew I was going to give the water chakra 6 months because I realized that it was my cave and it needed
Yeah,
some
yeah.
attention. And all these planets have been in water, and they're going to start moving, like I was saying right before you came back from your cat check. uh at the end of January, things start to shift into fire signs,
And
right?
it's
So
all
the
fire all the time by everybody. There's like
everybody's going to
five,
go into
isn't it a
fire.
stellarium and Aries or something?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's all Aries, and it's all like the last degree of Pisces, which is the last sign of the zodiac, to the 0 degree of Aries, which is the very beginning of the whole new cycle. It's a big like. So it's I can feel it shifting right now. I don't know if everyone else listening to this, you're tuned in. The energy is shifting. Solstice like was a turning point, and I can feel it starting to move. Like things are changing, things are becoming clearer. Things are starting to move, and I know the energy of 2026 is going to be very, very different than what we just experienced in 2025. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's just, well, I don't know why I keep saying this. Like, I do trust that the world is magical and that these things are real and they're tied together. And of course, we're feeling the movement of the stars and planetaries, alignments and solstices. And I mean, of course, all that. And it can never ceases to amaze me that when I
Correct.
actually feel it in my body, like
Yes.
I'm still like, what? how is that, is that real? Is that possible? And I'm doing it. I mean, it's totally real. It's absolutely happening. And so I think just, yeah, I guess I'm just deepening into the trust of that. But what you were saying about the womb energy, right? I just
Which
kind of
is
clicked.
totally water.
It's what? It's floating in this warm water, of course.
Yeah.
Floating in warm, salty water. Like, of course, that's what I'm doing. I'm healing my womb chakra. How else could that not be? I'm like in embryonic state. I mean, it's the
Hmm.
most comforting, beautiful feeling, right? To be like floating in this gorgeous water. Um, but I remember being in Belize, 15 years ago with a boyfriend and like thinking it was pretty, but like there was none of this. I'm having like deep magic happening around it now. And I was in a completely different place in my life right then. And I wasn't, I was experiencing it as joyful and pretty, but not this like, oh my God, the
Well, and I
healing
think
waters of
Joe,
the
do you
womb
feel
planet.
the the intention is important? The intention
It is.
matters. The intention
It
matters.
is,
I mean, I think that
for
sometimes
sure.
things can be so magical that they just bust into even the most
Yes.
mechanistic mind, right? The
Hmm.
most Calvinistic materialist can
Right.
have like a mind blowing spiritual event, right? Like that
Hmm.
people's lives that totally happens. But I do feel like when you are actively seeking to have communion
Hmm.
with the what is it, the unseen collective, the
The
unseen,
secret commonwealth.
the secret commonwealth, when you're actively seeking to commune with that,
Hmm.
and that is an act of discipline because we're trained, especially in our society, that that's not real. You're not, yeah, that's not real. You're not, and especially since that communication is not necessarily coming in the form of words,
Right.
right?
Yes.
so
No words.
it's like that like the step one, what are you doing to maximize parasympathetic
Mm.
thing, like from that perspective, right? And so I know if I'm waking up and I can tell my thoughts of they're just continuation of the thoughts when I was going to sleep, and I'm
Mm.
already making my list of what I have to do for the day, that I
Right.
am not, versus when I wake up and I'm like, what day is it?
Mm, yeah, I
You know,
deleted Instagram off my phone, and I think I did because I was starting to just notice I was getting, I'm sitting in a restaurant. I opened it up and I was noticing the energetic how I felt afterwards, and it wasn't good. It felt like it was just negative and weird and just it was discordant, to my energy. Just like, all the AI on it and just ads and I don't know, it just felt totally off and was getting worse. It was like every time I looked at it, it was like harder for me to like
mm,
be with the energy of it. And I'm like, why am I doing like delete the damn thing? You don't even have to look at it. So I deleted it, and I started reading a book, and I had a book with me, and I started reading Philip Pullman. I started reading other things, and I was like, oh, this is so much better. And as I did that, I realized a lot of experiences started to like kind of cluster around that deletion. It started to unfold pretty rapidly from that. So I think that was part of it for me. Like, you have to understand where your attention is going, and just filling in empty spaces with scrolling, even if it's about vacation. A lot of my algorithm was about travel, so it was kind of like, oh, I'm going to this place. It was showing me things, and so I was like, I'll keep it on my phone because it's interesting, but it's not worth it. I'd much rather just show up and be guided at this place actually than read about somebody else's opinion of whatever it's much more interesting to kind of wander and listen to your gut and just see. And people, and I'm becoming so much calmer now. Like, before, people were like, I think I even said on the podcast, I need to plan 2 weeks out, to feel like safe. And now I
yes.
don't at all. Now I'm like, oh, I'll get that ferry ticket tomorrow morning. Like, I'm like, it's fine. I'll figure it out when I get there. And that's been a shift I've noticed in myself. Like, I'm not freaked out by that. It's totally fine. And it works out almost always. Like, it actually works out better sometimes that I'm, not forcing things to happen. Um, I think it's just always signaling to the secret commonwealth the trust you have in them,
And
and
it,
that is
I
reciprocated.
love, I
Yeah.
love that. I can't tell you how much I love that secret commonwealth idea. It's really good.
We will absorb it and use it now. It's
Yeah,
ours,
totally.
part
I
of our
mean,
language.
it's like I feel like if you I think we talked about this before. My friend Margaret, who's passed away, but she had that thing of like being able to do energy healing. And she's like, but I have to trick myself. I have to say,
Right.
I pretending that the golden healing light of the universe is coming down upon you.
Hmm.
And I I had like smashed my hand or pinched my hand like setting up a market booth. I'd done some sort of market booth related energy. I don't know if I
Hmm.
dropped the weight on my foot or I don't remember what it was. But she totally it was like some sort of like, oh
Yeah.
god, and I gotta stand here all day with this throbbing foot. And she
Mm.
like totally did this like golden healing light of the universe thing and she's like, just pretend with me. And it totally healed my
Of course
foot.
it did. Yeah, because
I
it
mean, I
is
did get
real.
some,
Yeah.
somebody got me some ice too. Like it was my foot, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's like,
Yeah.
so it's like I've been listening to the telepathy tapes, the second season of it right now. And one of the researchers, they're talking about energy healing. So that's probably part of what's on my mind a lot. And MD Anderson, they just did a big study with with energy healers working over petri dishes with pancreatic cancer cells in it,
Mm.
and and they you could see it, like they changed things, and they were and they were investigating what was happening to the
Right.
mitochondria and like
Yeah.
all the things, and so and the researcher was saying, well, first step is you have to prove that something is happening. That's the baseline, and there's this study and that study and like all these different studies. So we're getting to that threshold of there is an undeniable impact, and there's the research of the people that are present physically with
Yeah.
whatever, and then the other thing is like they're measuring people, healing people from afar, and like what
Right.
the heck is that? So he's like, first up is establishing the norm that yep, something goes on. And that's been going on for some decades now. Like they're realizing, oh,
Yeah.
prayer actually works, right? Like, so like,
Absolutely.
so, thank you all you Southern Baptists that prayed for me when I was sick and all the Buddhists and all the Catholics. And like, I
Yeah.
had like all these churches, all these people were praying for me, like the Catholics every day, but like the other people, like every Sunday, it's like, it's
Right.
amazing. Um, Second step is what is happening. That's first step
Hmm.
in understanding is something happening? And yes, and we can measure it. Okay, well, what? How? What?
Hmm.
How? Right? That's next. So back to us and our experience in the world. It's like if we can give ourselves permission to be like, well, what if magic is real? What if I'm looking at the world and
Yeah.
seeing that magic is real and I could just pretend that it's real? Then you start having more and more and more and more mystical magical experiences because you're opening yourself up to the unseen commonwealth.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, absolutely. And I think when I listened to the telepathy tapes, I have not listened to the new season yet, but when I listened to the first season, and that was so present, how she said, and I think we talked about this already, but it's worth repeating. It's our greatest hits of our podcast. We're talking our 2025 episodes. So one of our favorite themes was, yeah, like the collective unconscious being like, a real thing that we are all connected at a certain level. And like that's the bottom of the pyramid, right? Like that's what everything rests on, that there's a collective energetic net, or weaving or web, or however you want to, indigenous language you want to use around the ocean. I mean, everyone's got language for it, but yes, humans have known this and sensed it and been a part of it for basically like almost 95% of the cultures on the planet speak of this, and like not as a mystery or a magic, as a fact. As a fact,
Yes.
we are there's a very small amount of people in the world, and it's certainly I mean, it's a very dominant like thought form, but it's not the prevailing thought form of humanity at all. Like for most of humanity's time on the planet, and for most cultures still on the planet, that's an agreed upon fact. There's a collective net, connecting us with the earth and everything on it, and it's sacred. And it's like
Yes.
it's a very recent and rare, I would say, mental disability, or
It's a
certainly,
nightmare. It's a
yeah,
dream.
kind of like a it's almost like a form of insanity or something that, and maybe it's a left brain like hemorrhage, or you know what I mean, like we're so left brain dominant because of the thought. And Philip Pullman, who I talked about before, he writes about this in a fictional sense, but he's writing about this um as you know in his, if you guys have read the you read the Golden Compass and his
I
Dark Materials.
did.
You read that series.
Yes. Yeah.
This is his
Yeah.
new
My
series.
boys.
It's they're great, right? And I think they even made a movie about it. But his idea of these daemons, you have this little animal or energy that is with you, is like your soul or your intuitive self, right? And you talk to it, and it informs you of things, and you're checking. And in this book, it's like there's like different thought people writing and stuff, and it's separating you from your they've these thoughts that when they get into your head can separate you from your daemon, so your daemon can actually like leave and go without you, and then all the struggles that come with having this part of you gone. But it's all about
Oh.
like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely he's critiquing the culture, right? And how the daemons are trying to fight back and like try to bring their humans back, like, no, we're real, like don't leave us. And these people are like super sad, but they rationally they think that no, there's no way you could possibly exist, even though you're right there in front of me and I'm talking to
Oh
you.
my gosh,
So
that's perfect.
it's so perfect. I know. So it's a really good, he's making a really good analogy. But I kind of feel like that's true. Like, I mean, it's so right there. I mean, it takes
Back
a
to
lot
yes.
to like ignore, like to be like, nope, you're not real. Because it's not that big of a secret, honestly. Like if you lean into it just a little tiny bit, there's just so much energy there. I mean, even if it's an energy from a crystal or a rock or a tree, or you know what I mean, like where does the line, you know, like everything's alive. Water is alive. Absolutely,
Oh,
water's
for
alive. I mean,
sure.
and the definition of life, of science, I mean, rocks are alive, crystals are, I mean, everything is active. So even like if you get into the scientific level of it, yeah, everything's alive and everything's emitting energy and everything, you know, yeah, communicating in its own way. So why would we have this weird thought form that no, it's all dead material to build shit with and like sell and crunch
Oh,
under our
well,
bulldozers? I mean,
because
like it's
it to,
expedient for us, right? Yeah.
my son we were having this great conversation just like a couple hours ago, and you know he went to school in Appalachia. He went to college
Mm.
in Kentucky, and in one of his classes, I don't know if it was like history of labor or some sort of interesting. He went to a cool college, but anyway, he said they were having these like quotes, these letters from various people, and there was a thing from like this mine owner, this letter complaining. We were talking about community, and he was like complaining. He's like, one person dies and no one shows up for work. They all have to go to the wake, to the funeral. Everything stops because one guy died. Like because he
Mm.
had no, like they were these really close knit small mountain communities, right?
Yeah.
Everyone knew everyone. Most of them were, they were probably related, you know, because of it. And this person from outside wanting just for them to do the work that they wanted them to do, wanting them to have no human connection.
Yeah.
And so
It's
and
just like the
with
mentality of
no
extraction. It's like I
yes.
can't extract what I want from you if you're not extracting what, you know, we're taking from the earth. It's just like everything's commodified, everything's an hourly. Yeah, it's very interesting. And I think it's a mental breakdown on the part of humanity. And it's a relatively recent one. And it's pretty contained to a very certain, you know, group of cultures that have kind of agreed upon it. So it's doing a lot of damage. But I do think that if we start to wake up out of the matrix, as you will, uh, it's easily undone because, like I said, the secret commonwealth is right there.
It's right there. Yeah.
It's right
Yeah,
there.
it's right
And
there.
I do feel like something is shifting. Maybe it's just for me because I'm in a big shifting moment, but I don't think I'm the only one. I think
Oh
that
no.
a lot of people are going to be experiencing, especially this next year, as this and this new energy. It's calling forth many like if you're gonna, you know, gonna do your wild dance, it's gonna be in 2026. I mean, it's eliciting like if you come here to do something on this planet, let's go. Like it's time,
We're
you know.
right.
We're
Yeah,
at that
like yeah.
moment. Like this is
Yeah,
go
yeah.
time, and it's welcome now, and nothing's too big. Like nothing's too, you know. Do the audacious thing. I don't know. Have you been doing your solstice ritual where you burn the little papers?
Ah, no, I totally forgot it.
I did
But
it, and I am like so excited because yes, tomorrow I burn my last one, and on New Year's
Oh,
Day I get to see what's left.
oh my God, that's
Um,
totally great. Will you
it is
text
actually
me?
really great. Yeah, it's been a really great spell, a ritual to do, and it's been so hard for me to not look at the little papers to see which ones
Our
are
left.
left. I'm just like just doing it like tarot cards. I lay them out and I pick one. Go sneak off to some weird corner and I light it with my lighter and I send a little prayer out there saying that this is what
Oh, that's so great.
I'm releasing. You can still do it. Start on the first and go to just go 12 days in or whatever.
That's
You
true.
can do
That's
whatever you want.
I have been weaving. You can't really, I don't know if you can see. I'm
Oh,
almost at the end of my 6 yard warp of little teeny ass. I'm gonna see if I can show you like 30 picks per inch.
ooh,
'Cause it's a so yeah, it's a lot of. This was this huge cone, and now it's just that.
wow,
But I'm weaving canvas to paint on.
beautiful. That's
But
so beautiful.
it's not really like regular canvas. It's this whole other thing. But it's what I am intending for it.
I love it.
But so that's what I've been doing, and that's very meditative for me. And it's very I this new. I'm so glad that I made the decision to sell my other looms and
Mm,
to get this one. And like, I got that my dad's estate finally got 14 years after his death, my dad's estate finally got
mm.
settled this summer, and we got a little tiny bit. And so like that's the money I spent on, because I had to like I
Gift
brought
from
my
your dad.
it's from my dad, so it's like,
Yeah,
but
that's nice.
also it's like it's so much nicer for my body to weave on. And like I was having those thoughts, that story of like, because of like maybe I just made it up that I love to weave so much, like because it hadn't been
Oh,
super
right.
pleasurable for as my body changed. And and now it's like, oh my gosh, I have to like say,
Mm,
I'm like, I know that my body would not be happy if I wove for 6 hours straight. I would
right.
still like to, but like,
Yeah,
and so I have to kind of like pace myself. And so like
right.
but it's the thing that's really, it's like the joy of it, because it's like I'm 5 yards in or something. So this it's your body, it's totally crossed your brain, because you're using your
Oh,
both
yeah.
feet, both hands all the
Yep.
time, like, and then it's like this like rhythm.
It's a
And
rhythm.
then
Yeah.
all of a sudden it's just like all these ideas,
Mm,
just like oh,
mm.
it's like getting to watch like a, yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
to
Well, you
weave
said it. It's
so much.
exactly right. Like you're doing everything to get your body into that flow state where
Yeah,
that's where those things happen. You're clearing the channel. That's how you clear the channel. Like I had
it
that experience drumming. Same thing. Like hand over
yeah.
hand drumming. You're moving in this way that you're not thinking about. It's just producing a rhythm or and it's very visceral, and your brain is doing a lot, but it's not doing that thinking part. It's just doing energetic crossings and rhythm, which it loves to do. I think it's like really primal, and it opens up, yeah, just all kinds of space for the secret commonwealth to speak
and
to you.
and I think that like a key factor for me was making the decision, because I was realizing I'd kind of done a little bit of sampling with a couple of different yarns to see what I was going to use for my weft, because I just got some warp threads when I bought the loom, and because I wanted to. It's been a long time since I've used this kind of loom, and it's how you set it up is quite different than the jack looms that I had before. It's a counter march loom, for those that know. My
Nobody
favorite.
knows that,
Nobody
actually.
knows it. They might. It's a traditional loom, very similar to how looms
You're a
all over the
nerd.
world.
You're
I am a
a
nerd.
weaving
Okay,
nerd, and nobody knows what to
it
use.
is true. That's actually what we called ourselves in the weaving department, was weaving nerds.
Well, yeah.
Um, Everybody else is like, how hip could be, and we're in art school, and we're like,
Right.
hi, get your slippers, let's go. But we literally had slippers. But realizing that, I was like, okay, I'm going to make these panels, because you have to plan ahead when you're weaving
Yeah.
something. It's not, it's pretty premeditated, right? So like,
Right.
so when I say, I'm like, oh, kind of like whatever, but you're still, there's math involved and all the things. So
Yeah.
I was like, okay, oh, like how at first I was going to do like hem stitching on the loom of the size of the panels. But then I realized if I do that, I have to keep track and keep measuring constantly. If I want 3 matching panels for a triptych,
Right.
I have to be paying attention with that part of my brain for 6 yards.
Yeah, no, you don't want
Like,
to do that. That's not flow state. That's
that's
math.
not flow state. I
That's
mean,
less,
it can't.
that's less
It can be.
hemisphere stuff.
And it can be fun to be like,
Yeah.
doing
it
that.
can be fun.
But I was just like, oh, screw that. I'm just gonna weave. I'm just gonna
Good.
like go, and so that I can get it woven off, so I can get the new warp on before I go back to school on the 5th. That's my
Nice.
goal. So, and but anyway, the reason I bring this all up was that choice of like, wait, how can I do this? One way, I'm going to have to keep my measurement, the
Yeah.
world of measurement, literally at the forefront.
Yeah.
And the other way, I can just totally have this embodied experience of the rhythm, the music of the loom, of the ching, 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 boom, like you're just
That's
doing
the
the
rhythm.
thing, and like, and just like the pleasure of it.
I mean, I feel like that's why this podcast is very pleasurable for both of us. Because we don't plan it. We don't have
And
a
we both
mathematical
have-
formula.
and we
Yeah.
both plan a lot in the rest of our life.
We do. And I mean, we certainly could have created a podcast where we plan, we had a lesson plan, right? That we were going to try to get through certain points and references. And we both decided that it would be much more pleasurable if we just let it flow. We just let a creative weaving of our two thoughts and experiences flow together every time we connected. And I really enjoy it. And I think other people enjoy it too, because it's hard it's hard to listen to somebody being in their left brain. Do you know what I mean? Like, it brings you into a different state of being. If people are just riffing, it's a different vibe, and I think it's good.
I do appreciate though, like like listening to the Emerald or listening to like the people that are really like that are really doing like that is also that can be pleasurable too. But it also like I had to listen to it in chunks.
Yeah, he's
because-
laying down a lot. I mean, he's laying down a lot of.
Yeah, I had
very, very good, but I agree. Like, it's
20 minutes at a time, max
yeah,
for
I
me.
take notes. I literally take notes when I listen to his podcast. I'm like, I want to look that up, and I want to reference that, and like, it's like he's he gives notes. He gives like 10 minutes of references at the end of each podcast. So shout out to him. Everybody should be definitely listening to the Emerald. It's one of my very, very favorites. And I actually signed up for his whole year-long course, which he offers, and I'm loving it. So it's just a really cool. He's definitely working for the Secret Commonwealth. He's one of their agents.
I love that so
Who else
much.
can we shout out? I mean, I've also been listening to Carolyn Casey.
Oh,
who
yeah.
An amazing storyteller and activist, and she's super secret Commonwealth woman. She's like woof woof woof. She's got like this coyote pack thing that she shouts out, and she's an astrologer. And anyway, she's great if you want to listen to somebody funny and just brilliant. I mean, talk about she can like quote Rumi and pull in this thing and pull. I mean, she's just like got one of those brains that can just pull up whole stanzas of poetry, and she just throws them into her broadcast. So definitely tune into her. What is her? I forget the name of that podcast is. But what else have you been like? Let's leave some inspiring things at the end of this one. What else have we been riffing on? Philip Pullman, everything by him.
Catherine, oh gosh, what is her last name? 1 second. Those books I've been listening to since
That's right.
My fellow student, give me a second. I get her name.
Carolyn Casey is the Visionary Activist Show.
And Catherine Gennett, the Wild Grove series is still making me happy. And and I'm wanting to revisit some books. Like I want to reread some Starhawk books this year.
That's always good.
Always good. And also
Leah Lamb at the School for Sacred Storytelling. I think I'll shout out to her. She's the one I'm going to do the retreat with in Hawaii.
Oh, super cool.
She's got a lot of really cool stuff, and she puts out a great newsletter. So if anybody's interested in learning more about storytelling and that whole arc, she's great.
And I can't not talk about Terry Pratchett for those that aren't already in the Terry Pratchett world. You got to listen to Terry Pratchett. But yeah,
if you haven't already done that, then you're in for such a treat.
and the telepathy tapes is really rock. It's really rocking it too. I love her, and
very, very expansive. Yeah, it'll expand your like parameters of what you think is going on. That's a great one.
Tully had one, and I can't remember it because we were
Here's a
talking
little
about.
fact. Hold on.
Go.
Here's a fact that I just heard, and it was actually through the Leah Lamb. They're doing like a heroine's journey course, and there was a little workshop on it, and I took it online. And I just want to put this out there because I just learned this I was today years old when I learned this that the entire like fight, flight, freeze, that whole response thing was a study done exclusively on men.
Nice. Did not know that.
Fascinating. So when they redid the study recently and included women, they found out that women had a completely different set of things that they did when they were under stress and pressure. And very few of them were like fight and flight. It was more like friend and befriend, like
fawning.
Not fawning. It was like care and repair, or friend and mend, or something like that. But it was like women had a tendency to reach out and like connect and work together and try to. I mean, it was like it made them more social, strangely. And men tend to have like a fight, flight, shutdown kind of response. And this was whole lady into her. She thinks the hero's journey is very, very different than the heroine's journey. And if you just take gender out of it, it's just a different archetypal, like mythic journey.
Yes.
Reaching into community. It definitely will come back to this because I think I'm going to get like more down that track. But I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought, wow, like all these things were taught, and then you just realize that there was an entire like group of people completely left out of that whole set of research, and we've just given that as like this is humanity's reaction. No, it's not actually. It was one sample size,
Yes.
So I just think it's a good reminder for everyone. Like I think as we enter into these places of uncertainty, certainly 2025 has been wild, like probably more chaotic than most people could have really anticipated it going on many of the spectrums that we track, right? Economic, politics, environmental, social,
humanity, social justice,
and yeah, all of it. Wild and shocking. And also we're in uncharted waters now. So with the uncharted waters come this ability to question everything. Like be like, how did we get out here? And these, is it really uncharted one, or is it just they've told us the wrong info? You know what I mean? Like we're not getting the full picture, which I think is why we're kind of operating with like one arm tied behind our back. We're just not understanding. So as we weave these conversations, the invitation is to like expand the sample set of like what are we really talking about? Like our culture has given us a fraction of reality and called it everything and called us crazy if we have any experience outside of that performance. And as we enter 20, and then they're showing us that they're completely fucking nuts, like nutso.
Like seriously
nutso.
crazy.
Like, you can't get more nuts than what's going on. I mean, you really, really can't. If someone like made it up in a TV show, I don't think I'd even believe. I'd be like, oh, really? That would never happen. And it's totally happening. I just looked down. I just saw somebody say that there now these like tech guys are consistently naming other companies after the Lord of the Rings, the evil characters. Like there is Palantir, which is the creepy stones that you look in to like see what Sauron is doing, and then there's like. I mean, I had to read it like 3 times. I subscribed to The Wire to try to keep up on technology because I think it's interesting. And there's a company named Sauron.
Oh my god! Did they?
I'm like somebody like purposely chose the name of their AI, whatever, like monitoring, whatever the hell a scary thing it's doing, and they call it Sauron.
Oh my god! So
not the good guys. Like they're purposely picking like the dark side of this force, and they're naming it. You're like, okay, well, I think it's time for us to call them the elves. Then we're gonna call them the Secret Commonwealth.
Yes.
They sure are calling in their side like pretty hardcore. Like they're naming it, they're labeling it. Like this is what we're doing.
Wow.
So I guess
I
what I'm
mean,
saying is they're getting weird. They're getting really weird, and so we're off script now. Anybody, we can get weird on our side too. Let's get weird.
I think that, and I do believe that when just back to creativity, when you can get into the receptive place for creativity, that is a form of that transformation. They're exerting a lot of effort to prevent people from being in a creative state. And they have, and if they wouldn't do that unless it was really, truly dangerous to their evil plans.
Yeah. I think it's really interesting. Like the first thing that AI started doing was art.
Oh yeah, it's like seriously?
Like why don't you put AI on cleaning up the ocean? Like there's a lot of other things we could be doing with. Like that's not something we need computers to do. Like absolutely not. Art and music are our things. Like that's what we do.
Yeah,
we're too well at it. Like we don't need any. But that when you frame it like that, like to take every creative idea that you could ever come up with and to feed it into this kind of wood chipper of computerized bullshit and then spit it back out as something much more garbagey it's a suction on our creative process. And I think that the active resistance to that is to get weirder.
Mm-hmm.
Less predictable, right? That was my theme for my 50s, to get hotter, weirder, and less predictable.
Nice.
Or maybe it was hotter, richer, and less predictable. It was one of those three.
Oh shoot! I came up with my word. I came up with my word for 2026. Oh, but now I can't remember it because I didn't write it down. I'm hoping Joe remembers it.
Must not have been that good of a word then.
No, it was. It was a good word. I
used to do that. I used to write 3 words for every year. But now I'm more into my burning the pieces of paper and just letting whatever's left on the piece of paper be mine.
I love it. I wish I didn't get that.
And I will
together.
report back to what it ended up being. I can't even wait. I'm like a little kid with Christmas to like open my last little piece of paper. See what I have to do for the year.
Nice. So job. Oh, so good. Thank you for this, Mama.
I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Happy end of the year. We did it. I mean, I guess, we usually roll solstice to solstice, equinox to equinox, but there is an energetic, I think most of the world celebrates this particular New Year.
I mean, it's absolutely one of those. It's an important pivot point.
It is,
and I think whether we would like calendars to be a little bit different than they are, it doesn't matter. There's a lot of
energy around.
There's a lot of
potency. No matter what country you're in, they'll celebrate this one, and they'll probably celebrate like their own. There's other ones in the mix, but like they will mark this one. And so yes, as the humanity is all connected. We've just been talking about that. There's a pivot. Like people are like, oh, fresh start, new year, new things. And astrologically, we're reaching a huge pivot. That like the planetary pivots are coming, like January, and then February is the big one. So I don't know. I guess I think the theme is still dissolve, though. Still letting go until we get to embark. Still releasing.
I'm hoping to have. We'll see how it goes. That the it is releasing because I do feel like that. What did I learn from 2025 is just like really accept that the pace I set for myself was overwhelming. And kind of just was overwhelming, and I need to transition if I want to do what I'm here for, which is art related. I have to have spaciousness to be in that receptive space, and that's up to me. That's my job. So it's what do I want more of in 2026 is to live more congruent with. I mean, I feel pretty clear that I've got my directive.
Good.
But I'm my old patterns that are keeping me, I keep whatever. Like I don't know what it's all part of the orphan crushing machine, but I feel like it's like the worthy machine.
The theme of art. Coming back to that.
Whatever it is,
Yes.
it's taking up too much time. I
Yeah.
need the bandwidth to do this other
you
stuff.
do.
I need the pirate
definitely do.
radio, so
Yeah.
I gotta
Yep.
disconnect those machines, and so I can use the bandwidth to.
Yeah, it's time. It's time to
So
do that.
anyway,
Yeah,
oh my gosh! All right, I love you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And Happy New Year to everybody out there. Thank you for listening. We love you. And we were going to keep doing this, so let's keep it rolling. It'll be very interesting to see what 2026 holds for
Right.
us and for everyone who's listening. Please, if you're doing the little magic spell, send us what your last slip of paper is, because I want to know. I want to know because I want to support it energetically.
Yeah.
And if you didn't do it and you want to start now. Like, just write out 12 things and start burning them. I mean, it doesn't matter really what you do.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make 13 things.
Yeah, do the first 13 days of the year. That's wonderful. Like a reverse resolutions. You burn them off until you're just left with one. That's why I like it. I'm like, I have one thing left. That's perfect. I can handle that. The opposite of overwhelm. Okay, I love you.
I love you.
We will talk again soon.
Bye bye.
Adios.